When a mommy and daddy break up, it can be difficult and challenging sometimes to raise the kiddos. So in today's Mommy Daddy Handbook, we are talking co-parenting. We want to welcome Dr. Deena Stacer. She's here with more on how parents can work together to develop a healthy environment for all involved. Dr. Stacer, good morning, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Mommies and daddies break up. Unfortunately, it's a large amount. I mean, there's anywhere between 50 and 60% of people that are getting divorced. They have kids and then they break up. What happens when, the parents go separate ways and then you've got kids involved? Who's being affected with all this?
Well, of course, everybody is. But the biggest thing is the parents have two fears. The first fear is that they're going to lose the love of their children. And the second one is that the breakup or the other parent's going to mess them up. So those are the two biggest things that drive whether the people adjust and how kids do versus whether they don't.
Is that why parents fight so much sometimes? When you hear after the breakup, they're always fighting this and with the kids and don't do this with the kids? Is that why?
Well, it's fear-driven, but there's two kinds of co-parents. One are people that have the best interest of the kids at heart, and then one where one or both of the parents doesn't have the best interest of the kids at heart. That's what keeps the conflict going for those people.
How does one manage that conflict? Let's say we have some friends at home that are going through this situation like right now. What would be a red flag that you would say that they can identify with right now and say, oops, we're making a big mistake right now with co-parenting?
Well, if they're focused on the fight rather than on the kids, that's the biggest red flag there is. And then what's driving it? Is it fear, and do they have strategies to calm down and to focus on the kids and them versus that, the other.
We'll tell our friends at home about some co-parenting classes that you teach, because it obviously takes a lot of education to be able to learn about this, but you do have some techniques and strategies that you teach parents to use. So one of them that I think we were talking about was called stringing pearls. Is that what it is? What does that mean, stringing pearls?
Stringing pearls is getting into the kids' imagination and creating positive activities that are connected to each other that create positive anticipation.
How do you do that? Like, can you give me an example?
So basically planning activities with the kids, giving them a voice and a vote, and doing it where it's several days away creates positive anticipation, so kids feel close to that parent, and then the parent feels close to them, and then you just keep building on that. So it's just a whole string. Camping is wonderful, making eggs together, different kinds of eggs, anything works.
Okay.
It's just how it's done.
And how it's done. Speaking of how it's done, when you're mad at the other person, I mean, out of control mad, sometimes you're just not seeing eye to eye. You say that sometimes it's not a good idea for parents to talk on a day-to-day basis about the kids. Is that true? And if so, why?
Well, every single time parents in conflict fight or see each other or talk to each other, they spin.
What does that mean?
That means that for 72 hours, it's in their sleeping, their breathing,
72
their thought process.
hours?
Yeah. So they need to actually disengage from each other and calm down and stay focused on the kids rather than reacting to the fight. And they can't do that if they keep seeing each other. It's like being in a car wreck all the time.
Why is it so hard for parents? Because I know of a lot of people that struggle with this constant battle between each other, and then the kids are the ones that are just constantly getting tugged back and forth. Why is it so difficult to be able to change this, master this?
Because a lot of people are told they have to learn to work together, and really what they have to do is learn to stop fighting or disengage. If they learn different rules about how it works and they can calm down, then they don't need to fight, because getting close to the kids, I feel better. Remember the two fears. I don't feel fear anymore. Therefore, I don't have to respond to that other person. So it does take time, but as long as they learn the basic rules, they can change it very quickly.
Speaking of changing it, Dr. Stacer offers co-parenting classes, because I always say with the kids, they come and they don't come with a manual, and they don't tell you what to do in all the situations, so it's all about learning and educating yourself. So she teaches classes in Rancho Bernardo. We've put the information for you on our website. If you go to FOX5SanDiego.com, you click the scene on tab, it'll get you hooked up on when and where and how much those classes are. Dr. Stacer, thank you for being here. Really good stuff. Miss Foxy Fox, it's all yours.
All right, Charlie, thank you. Still ahead on Fox 5.